Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to Borderlands 3. Hope you guys are all doing well. In this video we're going to go check out the new Hyperfocus. It was kind of recently buffed. It was actually on the 6th of August, but I was away at the time so I missed out on it. And I got the general consensus from the community that it just wasn't all that much of a buff and it kind of needed another one. I was personally farming for the Helix, which, by the way, hopefully there's a new video coming on that soon as well. But I managed to get myself quite a few nice Hyperfocuses, so I thought I'd check them out myself. And this thing, I feel like, is being generally slept on by the community. This thing is back to, like, top-tier weapons in this game for sure. Bossing, destroys, mobbing, look, there's better options, but it's definitely a fantastic weapon to use in Mayhem 10, like pinpoint accuracy, destroys, particularly if they're a bigger enemy, if you can get some extra shots or extra damage in from those sideways projectiles. I would highly recommend this weapon. So in this video, we're going to go check out, I'll show you a bunch of clips against different bosses, different mobbing situations. I ran it in both takedowns, all that good stuff. I'm also going to show you guys where to get it from, what variants you want. I'll show the different variants I've managed to get so far, as well as the dedicated drop rate as well. So I thought I'd just chuck that in there for this video as well, in case you guys were interested. But yeah, let's jump straight into it with the different weapon variants I've managed to get so far. I got super lucky with the anointments. I believe I already had my fire variant. Managed to get the shock one today. I got the corrosive one a few days ago. And they all have 100% ASE. So I'm super happy about that, super lucky. But the damage variants do vary a little bit from about 3.8k to almost 4.1. Let me know if you guys have a stronger one on you. I'd love to know if I can get even stronger than what I already have. But on top of the 4.1-ish, we can get 5.1k elemental damage with fire per second, which is really, really nice. Absolutely destroys any like flesh enemy with no shields. For example, our favorite targeting range, Grave Ward, just goes down super quick, which is great. And then yeah, these shock ones taking out shields, the melee takedown, stuff like that. And the corrosive hyperfocus just makes short work of Wotan. It's fantastic. With the fire rate, it's really, really strong. My fire one, I actually just realized, is my slowest fire rate one at just shy of 8 bullets per second, and it can go up to about 8.5. As for magazine size, they seem to be all the same at 35 bullets. I'd love to know if you can get bigger ones. If you guys have them, let me know down below. As for reload speed, about 2.7 to 3 seconds variation. If you're bossing, of course, it doesn't really matter. But as for mobbing, I'll show you guys the different skill point you want to spec into if you want to run this as a mobbing weapon. Accuracy is actually really good. It says just shy of 80%, but honestly, I've never noticed a stray bullet miss. I can hit melee one guys in the head from quite a distance away, so it's pretty pinpoint, in my opinion at least. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay for you guys to check it out and see how it works against different bosses. I farmed pretty much everyone in this game today. I farmed so many bosses. I did both takedowns a couple of times as well. Let's see how it went. Starting off with Grave Ward though. This guy versus our Alpha Flak build. I'll show you guys, I'll link it down below if you want to check out Alpha Flak. It's my strongest Flak build I have on my channel. I'll just show you guys the skill tree at the end. I did make a slight variation in skill points to suit the Hyperfocus because I don't usually use SMGs, particularly single pellet ones with this build. But a few variations and this thing absolutely rocks. 3-shot fadeaway, hit him in the chest, and those extra side projectiles that come out hit that extra critical hit spot and just takes him down super quick, which is very, very nice. If you guys are running Gorillas in the Mist Flak, I'd recommend getting a 200% ASA anointment on it if you can. It'll work a whole lot better than a 100% ASA one I have. I haven't managed to get one myself. I'd love to know if you guys can take it down even faster than I am currently with this build and this anoint. Moving on to another boss, a great one we actually were able to take down really quick was Genevieve. Because she's a bigger build boss, it was very easy to take it down just with a corrosive one. Didn't even need to swap to my shock one. Took her down at one fadeaway. She wasn't able to run away and do that annoying little semi-immunity phase thing she does, which just wastes a few seconds. If you're trying to farm around a loop, it does get a little tiresome. So this is another great weapon that you can just one clip or one fade away, take it down super quick. Particularly if you guys are farming for those redundant refluxes, they do take a while, unfortunately. Another place we went and farmed today was the Handsome Jackbot boss at the end of DLC 1. That one was pretty quick. It was kind of annoying trying to hit those critical hit spots because they do move quite a bit from the kneecaps to the hands to the head. So trying to get not only the critical hits, but trying to get those ricochets to hit more of him at the same time was a little difficult. But it was a pretty fast boss farm, to be honest. It was definitely one of the, I'd say, top 10 weapons, at least take him down, maybe even top 5. Particularly when you can take down those loader bots in the area, super quick. It makes all of that process really fast, considering how many immunity stages he has. Like I said, I did try and take down the Guardian takedown and the melee one takedown today a couple times. The melee one takedown, it's fantastic. I would actually recommend using hyperfocuses. You could honestly just use those and not even rely on any other weapon. If you wanted to, just take a shock one, a fire one, a corrosive one in there, and you'd be set. The boss fight in particular, the Wotan better half just goes down practically instantly. It's so much fun to actually watch his health bar go that quickly. The bottom half, a little harder because those ricochets don't hit as many things, but still quite quick as well. And the melee one, like mobbing areas, are so easy to do with the hyperfocus. I ran it through Athena's today as well, just to have a ton of fun, because it's so pinpoint accurate with this gun. You can hit those critical hits super easy. If there's a bunch of mobs in the same area, not only can you get the ASE splash to just take out a whole bunch, you can also get those extra ricochets to take on a few enemies at the same time. And yeah, it just makes super light work of it. I'll have some clips on screen so you guys can see how quickly Wotan and the Athena's area, no matter what takedown, was taken down so quickly today. The Guardian takedown, though, is definitely a different story. I wouldn't recommend using the hyperfocus anywhere near as much. It honestly feels like a completely different gun as soon as you take it in there. Not only is there just so many Guardians in that takedown, it's obnoxious. You really do need to use a weapon that like ricochet chains, like a reflux or a Jacob's shotgun or a recursion. I haven't really seen what that gun's up to at the moment. Hopefully those extra projectiles help it out a bit. But something like that, or a plague bearer, something that's going to be really, really good at crowd control. The hyperfocus against individual Guardians, it will do the damage, but just because there's so many, you want something that chains together. And as for the bosses, it just really didn't seem to ricochet. I really expected, I had like high hopes for the Guardian takedown to be kind of like a lot easier for the bosses. Because they're so big, I expected so many of the projectiles to ricochet inside them and get the extra damage going. But it just really did not happen whatsoever. I'll show you guys some clips of me taking down either eye of the boss. Honestly, they just tickled them. Where you can compare them to the Monarch, it's just so much better a weapon. There are plenty of other weapons like the Light Show, or even the Reflux was doing more damage. Even though it's a mobbing weapon, hitting those extra Guardians near the bosses just did more and more damage, where I really expected the hyperfocus to shine. It just really wasn't all there with damage, unfortunately. Now, if you guys want to farm for the dedicated drop spot for this hyperfocus, you want to go to Promethea and then down to Atlas HQ. I'll take you guys there and run you to it, because if you are new to the game, you might not know of the new, well, not new, it's definitely been around since the start of the game, but there is a much faster way to get to the bosses, and it'll save you a ton of time actually getting to the boss fight itself. From Atlas HQ's news station, just run out here, go up these stairs, and then rather than running all the way around like you do in the story, just turn left and then zoom down here. Definitely get a snowdrift if you can. It makes boss timing so much easier. From here, you want to aim, run and jump at that thing, and then grapple up onto it, jump over, and you can just run straight up here rather than going all the way around and going back to this spot here. Right here is where you will find the Power Troopers, obviously a Power Rangers reference. There are 8 dedicated drops from these guys, and the Vanquisher is one of them. I'll read through them quickly. I've got a list here because my brain had memorized and 8 of them. But we've got a Star Helix that drops here. We have the Vanquisher, like I said. We have the Hyperfocus SMG, the one we're after for this video. The Thunderball Fists pistol, melee one pistol. The Spinner SMG by melee one as well. The Nova Burner shield, as well as the Surge Grenade and the Transfusion Grenade, which is a great grenade, by the way, if you haven't used it before. All 8 of these things drop here. Now, immediately you're probably like, that's terrible, I don't want to farm for something that has 8 dedicated drops. They're never going to drop any of them. I wouldn't blame you at all for assuming that, but it's actually nowhere near as bad as you would expect, because there is 5 of them. Any one of them can drop any 8 of the dedicated drops, and they can drop multiple of them at the same time. We did manage to get all of 1 this time, but you can very easily get up to 4 dedicateds at a time. Well drops are pretty much non-existent from this farm whatsoever, but I did farm these guys 100 times on Mayhem 10 to get the drop rates for you guys, so you can see how much you can expect generally after 100 farms on Mayhem 10. Level 60, or it'll be exactly the same as soon as level 65 comes around. If you want to farm for a hyperfocus, or realistically any of the weapons that come from this boss farm. Now I'll have some more clips showing on screen so you guys can see how much damage the hyperfocus does against different bosses I took on today, different mobbing situations, etc. While I read through the dedicated drop rates for you guys. Generally I make separate videos for these and make a whole guide and etc. But I thought, why not, we'll combine them all into one video so you have all the info you may need. Starting off with the highest drop rate out of any of the dedicateds, we got 25 Nova Burners, which is a super high drop rate, essentially 1 in 4 farms. Second up, we got 22 surge grenades, also super high drop rate. Third, spinners very close behind with 21 drops. In fourth place, we got a star helix with 20 times, which is really, really good because apparently that was buffed and does a ton of damage now as well. I'm personally trying to get myself some good rolls so I can show it off for you guys. In fifth place, we got the Thunderball Fists with 18 drops. In sixth place, we have our Hyperfocus. That one, the dedicated drop rate has always been super low. It feels like with 15 out of 100, that's a decent drop rate now, particularly when it's competing with 8 other drops. In seventh place, we got the Transfusion Grenade. That one has 13 drops. And the final least dropped item, at least from my experience after 100 runs, is the Vanquisher with 9 dedicated drops. Now all those are super solid drop rates. I really didn't expect too much, particularly when you have 8 dedicateds in one farm. Generally, you would expect to have just absolutely no hope trying to get the Anomi you want, the Elemental variant you want, and the max damage, etc. But this farm's actually pretty solid with 5 bosses, 8 drops. It's less than 2 each. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the clips on screen. We ran through so many bosses today to see what the best bosses are, what it's most effective against, etc. And even when it's really not that effective, for example, Agonizer, it struggled a little bit, mostly because it's Agonizer's fault. His critical hit spots are just broken to instantly break, and then you can't get that extra critical hit damage on a loop. So even it was underperforming against Agonizer, and it still 2-clip destroyed him, which is pretty decent considering he is bugged at the moment. Other than that, though, it was a walk in the park for most bosses generally. 1 clip, 1 fade away, and just destroyed each immunity phase or just the entire boss at once, which is fantastic. If you guys want to check out the build, again, link down below, or if you guys want to quickly check out, I'll go over it briefly for you guys. The main thing is the Bounty Hunter class mod. This thing rocks. I've got the Hyperion crit damage, and we've got SMG damage combined for an 1% bonus for the Hyperfocus. It absolutely saves so much time and does a ton of damage. 4 points in Frenzy works really well. If you want to switch to the Jabber, he'll stack Frenzy faster, but sometimes I often have the Spiderette for the extra elemental damage, so it's a bit of a trade-off there. For the shield, I use an Old God, particularly if we're going for fire damage. These are super hard to obtain, or at least from my experience, but they are from DLC 2, and they give you a ton of extra fire damage or whatever elemental damage you can get your hands on. Pair that ASC of fire with the radiation down here on the It's Piss grenade. Combine those, and you're going to do a ton of damage every time your action skill ends. Of course, for the Pearl, for the artifact, you want to go for the Pearl. It's the strongest artifact there is. Got an extra magazine size there, which helps a ton, and the fire rate helps even more, of course. More bullets per second means more damage per second. For the skill tree, we'll run through it quickly for you guys. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'll show you guys on screen, and I'll tell you the differences we made. Like I said, Alpha Flak, only slight variation is we have put 5 points in Two Fang. Generally, we have a bit of a combination between Second Intention and Grim Harvest for a bit of a trade-off from your reload speed versus your damage. But because this is a single projectile weapon, you want to try and put in as many points as you can for Two Fang. 25% of the time it's going to shoot an extra projectile, essentially doubling your damage 25% of the time. So that is highly recommended for single projectile weapons. Now, as for mobbing situations, I'd recommend putting a few points into Second Intention because you might have seen in some of the clips, I was having to stop and reload, and it was taking a little while. It was taking me out of the fight, sometimes even meaning I was going to go down. I almost did, and that way I'd have to run out of the way and reload out and then come back into the fight. That's super annoying. So I'd recommend, rather than having all your points in Two Fang, or maybe you take it from somewhere else, put a few points in here, and you will save yourself a bunch of time, maybe save yourself a few downs, and you'll be able to run through those mobbing situations even faster, particularly if you guys are going for the melee one takedown with them. But of course, you will lose a little bit of damage with the boss fight at the end. Realistically, probably not going to notice too much of a difference. But yeah, that is everything I have for the Hyperfocus buff. This thing is so much fun to use again. I highly recommend you guys checking it out for yourselves over the next couple weeks, or even when we hit level 65. And that way you can get all your gold rolls, and it won't have to worry about any new level caps for a very, very long time at the very least. But yeah, that's everything I have. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, don't forget to smash subscribe down below. If you want to hit like, it will help me out even more. If you guys want to leave any comments down below, any other weapons or builds you guys want me to check out, feel free to do that down there. If you guys want to check out, I have a Discord, I have Twitter, we have a Twitch as well. Live streams are going to be coming back hopefully very soon. I have been away for quite a bit with next to no internet, but those will definitely be coming back for the level 65 level cap. So many videos, so many streams coming back very shortly. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you guys next video and a live stream. Till then, adios.